जय बोलो गुरु सत्य साई की जय बोलो जय बोलो जय बोलो.
Sai Ram. We are here with Isha. Isha is new to the Atlanta area, but has already had some very momentous things happen, which were dramatic, to say the least. Maybe if you would, Isha, share a story with us, back from when you first found out about Swami, perhaps, but more specifically, what's been going on lately. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of my beloved Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. I'm very fortunate to know Swami from the time I was born because of my mother, who's been Swami's devotee since her childhood, and my maternal grandparents who have been Swami's devotees as well. My first physical encounter with Swami has been very beautiful and wonderful. So my mother, before her marriage, used to visit Prashanti Nilayam every year for Swami's birthday celebrations and has performed several times in front of Swami. However, after she got married, for several years she couldn't visit Prashanti Nilayam. And now, about almost after 12 to 13 years, my brother, me and my mother were going to Prashanti Nilayam. We all were very excited. And we reached Puttaparthi at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when Udyan Express, the train, reaches Puttaparthi. And we went into the ashram and found accommodation. And by the time we settled in, my mother realized that we had missed the morning darshan. So she instead decided to feed us, and we started finding the way to the canteen. That's when the Sevadals came in and they started forming a chain of hands saying that Swami is coming. And we all were perplexed, like what happened, and we just silently stood behind one of the Sevadals, and Swami's car came in. And as soon as he came in front of the three of us, he rolled down his window and he smiled at us. And that image of Swami is still fresh. It seemed like when a mother sees her child after several years, the glow on the face was exactly what Swami had on his face. And frankly, I was just about 5 years old that time. And when I saw Swami, I got scared. Because like for the past 5 years, I knew Swami was only my God in the photo, who I used to pray for all small things. And I used to attend Bal Vikas classes, which are called SEC classes here. And when I saw him in person, I really got scared. But when I think of it now, I don't think that there could be a better way of meeting Swami for the first time. So after that first time, which I just explained, we went several times to Prashanti Nilayam. We started going every year. Also, I'm very fortunate that I was there in Prashanti Nilayam when Swami gave his last darshan in his physical form. And Swami came in and we were sitting in the first or the second line, got very beautiful darshan. And Swami, when the aarti was on, he sat on his chair, and instead of raising his hands like this, he instead did namaskar to everyone. Whenever I go to Prashanti Nilayam, there is a very strong vibration, especially when he used to come. So I've seen him many times in physical form. We used to wait almost for 2-3 hours just for Swami's darshan. And as soon as Swami used to enter, even if you were sitting with your closed eyes, you could feel the Swami is coming because the energy was different. But that day, the energy was even more intense, and we all were confused, and like we all were drawing different conclusions. Like everyone was coming with different theories. Like maybe Swami was doing this, but with little closer hands and all, but he was actually doing a namaste, and he was very emotional. And looking at Swami's emotions, we all got emotional, but we all didn't know the reason, right? And later, when we came to know, I just feel blessed that Swami, like, I was there when Swami was there in his last physical form. So it was great.
Wow. What an amazing thing to be there for that darshan. That's like one of the ultimate darshans to have been there.
Yeah.
What's the next thing you'd like to share?
So I feel my turning point with Swami came when I decided to come to United States of America to pursue my master's in 2018 August. So my parents and I had obviously worked very hard for me to get here, and I obviously had very practical reasons to come here. But now it was like I was going to come to a country which I'd only heard of. I was very scared. and also excited because I'm a young person, always want to explore things. So I was obviously very excited as well. So obviously before coming here, I went to Prashanti Nilayam to seek Swami's blessings. And during my prayers, I asked him a question. Swami, why are you sending me so far away from you? This is where you are, right? And this is where I connect with you. Why are you sending me so far? I am happy here. I have my parents. I have my great friends. I have a good life here. There has to be some solid reason you're sending me. And then I said my final goodbyes to my parents and I came to US to study. And the 6 months were very tough. I was homesick. This country is so different from India. Like even the traffic rules are so different. People are different. The education system is different. I was struggling. And that time my mom just told me, like, whenever you're feeling lonely or homesick, just listen to one Swami's bhajan. That's it. And I used to tell her, like, I'm so busy, there is no time. So we decided that whenever I take the bus from my house to the university, which was about a 10 to 15 minute ride, I would listen to Swami's bhajan and followed by Swami's aarti. And that did wonders, right? Many a times listening to that, I used to cry. And I'm sure the other students in the bus would think I'm crazy or something. But that is how I used to, I was so sad and so homesick. But then it used to give me energy that I used to be fine for the rest of the day. So this went on. And then my mom started telling me that you need to find a Sai center there. 100% Swami is everywhere. There will be a Sai center there. And I used to fight on my mother saying that Clemson is a college town. Here there are no proper restaurants. How are you going to find a Sai center here? In Clemson, there is an Indian Student Association. And there was these elections that were held for the office bearers. I was not really interested because I had too much on my plate at that time. But my friends kind of pushed me to do that. And I felt like the position I was applying for or standing for would help in my resume. So I thought I might as well just stand for it. And I got elected. And the head of the Indian Association, Dr. and Mrs. Singh, is a custom that whoever are the new office bearers would go to their house for a meeting followed by some refreshments. So I went to their house. And as soon as I entered their house, the first thing I saw was Swami's picture. I was so happy and I rushed to Mrs. Singh and I asked her, are you Swami's devotee? And she just smiled at me and she's like, yeah, I am Swami's devotee. And we started talking about Swami. She took my number and that's how she introduced me to the Anderson Sai Center. I started going with her for all the Sunday bhajans, all the special occasions she used to take me. And I used to sometimes feel she's doing too much. Like it's a 40-minute drive one way. But she used to say that Swami wants you to sing and I'm just a medium for you to connect with Swami. And that's what Sai's love is, right? And now after 6 months, I was feeling really good. I found a loving family, my Sai family, and they were very supportive. And it was one of the greatest things that happened to me in Clemson. Right? And in December 2019, I went to meet my parents after a year and a half. And of course, before coming, I went to Prashanti Nilayam. And I was this time a very different person. And let me be honest, I used to mock my mother, whenever she used to see Swami, even now when she goes to Prashanti Nilayam, she instantly starts crying. And I used to make fun of her, why are you crying? Swami is so full of love, he's so sweet, why are you crying? And she's like, you will never understand, it's my devotion. And this time when I went to Prashanti Nilayam, after 1.5 years, I started crying. And my mom looked at me and she's like, what happened? And I said, I don't know, I just listened to bhajans and now it's different. I'm a very different person and now it's me who looks at Swami, who thinks of Swami, and now it's just Swami's Mahasamadhi there. But still I am so close to him and I was shocked that I was crying so much that day. I graduated with flying colors in May 2020 and my parents were proud of me, I'm proud of myself. And then I was all gearing up to come to Atlanta, the city of dreams, I guess. And I came in July 2020, end of July. I started working on 17th of August. And on 19th August, the community I was staying in caught fire. And when people came, banging at the doors, saying that is fire, just come out, something came upon me and I at least took my documents, which I'm really thankful of because without my documents, I'm not allowed to stay here. So I think Swami just gave me that sense of intelligence in that time that I grabbed all my documents and my work laptop and I came out. And it was a very tough time. I came out, I saw the entire building burning down in front of my eyes. It was a horrid situation. And frankly, I was very angry at Swami. I was fighting with him. I was like, Swami, you first of all got me to this country. You got me to this city. Why are you doing this? I have nothing left with me. Like, it's just the documents and me. And I don't even have any family here. Like, there is no one here who I can stay with. Like, I was miserable that time. And I was very angry at Swami. I was every day like crying and saying, this is not what I deserve. So my mom just told me that time that you need some elders, you need some support, just reach out to the center. And I instantly reached out to the center. And the first thing I told them when I spoke to them is that I want Swami's picture and vibhuti, that's all I want. And they were shocked and they're like, why? That's the only thing you want? And in fact, they were like, there has to be something else you want. I said, I just want that. And the reason was that in my house, it was Swami's small picture that I had got from India. And people might say that, come on, we stay in a new era, you can just look up Swami's picture online, you should be good. But no, that picture was special. That was the picture that had got me this far 2 years. That picture is where I cried several times. I prayed to Swami. And now I was telling Swami that, Swami, you put me in such a difficult situation. And now even you are not there with me. You took yourself away from me. And the Sai Center people came to help me. And the first thing they handed over was Swami's picture. And this time the picture was, I think, almost 50 times bigger than I had. I had such a small picture, and now if you see the picture in my house, it's like Swami's in his complete full form. And I was like shocked, and I told them like, isn't this picture very big? They're like, no, it came directly from Prashanthi Linyam. The person who gave this picture has never used it, and they just bought it from Prashanthi Linyam, and it actually has just come for you, it seems. I was like, okay, Swami has come back to me. And then with everyone's love and support, I got back on track. And even during those difficult times, those days, I had got a dream, and the same dream my mother had seen, that where I saw my entire room, and I had my Swami's picture on my study table where I was working right now. It happened that we both had seen the dream, and when I told her my dream, my mom was like, I saw the same dream. You're going to be good. But that time I still was not very convinced because all that had happened, and I said, okay, let's see. And now my Swami came back to me because I was one of those lucky 30 apartments where the recovery team could go in and bring out at least some items. And I also got the letters I wrote to Swami. And I just feel that I'm really happy that I went through this situation, because this situation taught me total surrender to Swami. And don't ever doubt Swami. Like, of course, at that time I was fighting with him and I was questioning him, but he has a plan for all of us, and we just need to believe in that plan. And second thing I learned was detachment. All these things just went away from me, but at the end, what I really valued was my life. I could have lost my life, I could have lost a lot of things, but there's nothing more important than life. And this materialistic thing was just a way of Swami's teaching me a lesson, that stay as minimum as you can. Also, the importance of Sai family is also what I learned. And I always tell myself that, sometimes I feel I'm so lonely, but actually I'm not. Like, anywhere I go, Swami is there with me, the Sai family is there with me. So I learned so many things from such a big incident, so I'm really thankful. Also, I think I kind of found the answer what I asked Swami 2 years back when I left from India. Swami, why are you sending me to the US? And the answer is that in India, I was a devotee's child. Of course, I was a believer in Swami, but my medium was my mother, my Sai organization, my elders who kept pushing me to be with Swami and take part in his activities and all those things. But when I came to US, all those external factors were gone. It was just me and Swami. And whatever it has, I had to have a direct connection with Swami, otherwise it wouldn't have been possible. And if I would have stayed in India, I wouldn't have been able to get into this transformation. So for me to transform from a devotee's child to, I guess, I've become more of a Swami's devotee, is only possible because I came to US.
You were destined to get the picture back, and now
yes,
you have back.
I got it, and now I feel just Swami came back to me. Here is my Swami, who's taken care of me since 2 years. Yeah, I challenged him. You went back. You were away from me, so what am I supposed to do? So he came back. I said 10 times or 20 times bigger, and also he came back in the original form. It's just like when you say, like, Swami, when you take one step towards Swami, Swami takes 10. I asked for a small picture. He came in 10 times much bigger for me.
Jai Sadhu.
मेरे प्राण आधार की जय बोलो, मेरे जीवन आधार की जय बोलो, गुरु सत्य साई की जय बोलो.